Passion is one of those words that gets tossed around so often that it risks losing its meaning. And we've all heard follow your passion as career advice. And I've also said that it's terrible advice if taken literally. Just because you love photography doesn't mean quitting your job to be a full-time photographer will bring you joy or financial stability. Yet dismissing passion altogether, that's equally dangerous. Passion, when cultivated and channeled, is one of the most powerful forces for progress in our life. So welcome to Lesson 5 in the 52 Life Lessons series. This special episode is part of the Working Well podcast. Now, next week, we're going to have another amazing interview episode for you. So right now, let's dig into how to lead with passion and why it's the driving force for progress. See, passion, it's not just a fleeting feeling. It's a catalyst. It fuels performance, persistence, and resilience. When you're passionate about something, you're anchored. You want to learn more, practice harder, and keep showing up, even when things get messy. Now, when you pair that passion with a deep purpose, it becomes rocket fuel. Now, early in my career, I thought success was mostly about working harder and putting in more hours. That grinded out mindset worked for a while, but eventually, as expected, it left me drained. But what pulled me out wasn't working longer or taking a break completely. It was reigniting the passion in the work I do. And one of the most vivid reminders came when I started writing my book, The Fitness Curveball. For 15 years, I kept pushing the project aside. I told myself I was too busy running my business, raising kids, and dealing with life's curveballs. It wasn't until I tapped into the passion I had for teaching people the principles of sustainable performance that the book became a reality. Now that passion gave me focus and energy to sit down day after day and write, even when the words didn't flow easily. And there were many times they didn't. In fact, seeing the power of applying my 4 pillars of performance and putting them towards the book project, that was an amazing boost to my inspiration, because that's what I was trying to teach people, and seeing it in action was so beneficial. It took me time to tap into that, though. I had to really think about it. And over the years, there have been a number of times when I felt like I was stuck. And each time, I was able to get unstuck by consciously curating activities that brought me passion and that contributed to my purpose. Sometimes it was through the help of my coaches, my mentors, friends and family that helped me see that different perspective. But it always came back to that passion and the purpose. In my speaking, coaching, consulting work, it's always been about helping people unlock that potential, supercharge their mindset, and build sustainable habits. And that doesn't just pay the bills, it lights me up. And that energy is so contagious. I've seen it in myself and in thousands of people I've worked with over the years. Now, I wouldn't be saying this if it wasn't backed by science. Research agrees that most of what we feel intuitively, that passion is a driver of well-being, resilience, and performance. It's backed up by research. Here's a way to think of it. Imagine your life is a tapestry woven from many different threads. Some are dark, heavy, and draining. Others are neutral, neither good nor bad. They're just there. But then there are the rare, vibrant ones, what is often called your red threads. These are the activities that light you up. You anticipate them with excitement. You lose yourself in them while doing them. And afterwards, you feel energy and energized rather than depleted. You've probably heard of it being called a flow state at times. A lot of times the activities, those red threads, are what help put you in a flow state. Now, a fascinating Mayo Clinic study showed that physicians who spend just 20% of their time focused on work that they find most meaningful are far less likely to burn out. Now, keep in mind, this isn't about chasing a dream job or abandoning your current role. It's about deliberately weaving more of those red threads into the fabric of your everyday work. Here's a simple exercise. Spend 1 full week paying attention to when you feel alive at work. Carry a notebook, draw a line down the center of a page, and label one side loved it and the other side loathed it. Every time you notice yourself in a flow state, jot down what you were doing under the column loved it. And whenever you catch yourself procrastinating, watching the clock, or finishing a task with relief that it's finally over, oh God, thank God that's done, write it under the loathed it column. And we've all had that. At the end of the week, you're going to have a map. Most tasks you do won't make it to either list, but the ones in your loved it column will stand out. They'll carry a unique emotional charge. The loved it ones are your red threads. Those moments and the activities, they don't just get done, they pull you forward and they lift you higher. And as the research says, only 20% of those red threads in your week have a tremendous impact on your performance, your well-being, your happiness, and your productivity. Global workplace research across 19 countries by Marcus Buckingham and Ashley Goodall. Their research adds another layer to this perspective we're talking about. So they found that 73% of people report having the freedom to shape their job to play to their strengths, yet only 18% of people actually do that. Imagine the shift in performance and joy if more people pulled on those red threads and tapped into their passion for their daily work. So the takeaway is you don't have to love every task you do, but you can always find love in what you do. That distinction, it changes everything. So passion doesn't, and this is something to consider, passion doesn't always announce itself with fireworks. Sometimes it's just a little flicker of curiosity at the beginning. And that's why I encourage people to set their awareness radar to scan for those sparks of interest. What excites you, even just a little? What intrigues you? What tasks feel energizing rather than draining? When my son was 8, he started a little fidget spinner business. At 10, he launched another one selling hummus and tapenade so that he could buy a toy he wanted. Now, these ventures, they weren't global empires, but they were expressions of his passion to create, to test ideas, and to make things happen. And his curiosity turned into great learning experiences. And those experiences built confidence. That's the essence of passion. It doesn't have to be a massive or meaningful change. It starts with that little curiosity sometimes. Now, when we're talking about work, in business, passion is often misunderstood. Leaders sometimes fear it because they equate it with impulsiveness or emotion-driven decisions. But true passion, grounded in purpose, is one of the most strategic assets that a leader can cultivate in their team. Think about it. 2 employees are doing the exact same job. One finds meaning in the details, connects their work to a bigger purpose, and takes joy in the small wins that are celebrated by their leader in great ways. The other person sees every task as a grind. Now, who's going to be more engaged, more resilient under pressure, and more likely to stick around when challenges hit? Well, of course, the answer is obvious. Passion transforms mundane work into meaningful contribution. It helps people weather storms, adapt faster, and create momentum. In today's workforce, that's gold. Now, as I wrote in my book, Your Work from Home Productivity Handbook, that's a handful. Say that fast 10 times. Personal performance equals work performance. Passion is the spark that bridges the two of them. But it's important for us to get real here. As we know, life isn't always sunshine and rainbows, or we're not living constantly in a flow state. We're not going to be passionate about everything we do. So filing expenses, cleaning the kitchen, those things rarely feel inspiring. But passion is something that we can cultivate. In situations like these, it can even be our passion to do a good job at whatever we're doing, a pride in our work. But here are some simple strategies that you can work to cultivate that passion. As mentioned before, find the sparks. Notice what energizes you. Keep a simple list of tasks or topics that grab your attention. Design your work around them. Even small adjustments like that 10 to 20% of your time on the red threads, those energizing tasks can make a huge difference in your outcomes and your state of mind. Create meaning in the mundane. Now, instead of asking, do I love this task? Ask yourself, how can I bring love into this task? Bring passion into this task. Whether it's connecting with a colleague or learning a new skill or reframing impact and passion, it can be cultivated in the context or the lens at which you're looking through that task. The last one is pair passion with purpose. Passion alone can be great, but often it burns bright but fizzles fast. Purpose gives it direction, sustainability, and impact. Ask yourself, what's the deeper reason I'm doing this work? When you can answer that, you're going to be able to tap into your passion more consistently, more purposefully. So I've got a challenge for you. Let's look at your week ahead. Where are the areas that you see sparks of passion? Which ones are you dreading? Think about those. And then ask yourself, what's one small adjustment you can make to bring more of what lights you up into your schedule for the next week? And remember, passion isn't about chasing a dream job or waiting for this lightning strike of inspiration. It's about making daily choices to align your work, your energy, and your focus with what brings you joy and meaning. And as the research shows, that alignment boosts not only your happiness, but also your performance and your resilience. This passion stuff, it's not fluff. It's a competitive advantage for you, your team, and your organization. So in parting, a final thought for you. We can't always do only what we love, but we can always find something to love in what we do. That's the true essence of passion. And it's the driving force of progress. So let's get out there, start tuning in, put your passion radar on full alert, see what you can come up with. Thanks again for listening to another episode of the Working Well podcast. I'm your host, Tim Borys. And please let me know what you think. What other topics do you want to hear? And if you have some guests you think that would be great on the podcast, please reach out. I'd love to chat. You can find me on LinkedIn or at timborys.com/podcast. All the episodes are there. And I will see you soon. That wraps up another episode of the Working Well podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please rate, review, and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. Now, which guests or topics would you like to see featured on the show? Message me through LinkedIn or on the contact page of timborys.com with your ideas. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Tim Borys with Fresh Wellness Group, and I look forward to seeing you on the next episode.